Hi everyone, I am back, and today I'm going to talk about embracing your inner child, what that means, why we want to do that, and how you can start to do that. So if you haven't met me yet, my name is Laura Smothers Chu, and I am the CEO and founder of Befriended Heart, where I help daughters navigate their parents' dementia. So one way, actually the main way, how I help daughters navigate their parents' dementia, since my dad has Alzheimer's. He's had that diagnosis for about 6 years now. And I was a working professional and I had my own family. My mom was taking care of my dad on a regular basis. She lives with him. But of course, as anyone else, dementia affects all of us, even me as a secondary caregiver, and I'm sure that's the same for you. So I wanted to talk about a way that I have been discovering joy myself recently. And to get real here, my husband and I have been on the fertility journey for more than a year. And so we've gone through the fertility clinic. We feel like we've done all of the things. I've actually changed my lifestyle, and I can put the link up here, but it was in response to hearing Julie Went and her tips about nutrition and helping prevent dementia for daughters like me. And also, it's just also happens to be coincidentally great for fertility as well. So, I've been exercising a lot more. I've incorporated yoga into my routine. I have stopped eating sugar completely. I eat lots of fruits and vegetables now on a daily basis. And so that has been a really big change for me. And I was starting to feel like, especially after going through a couple of fertility treatments and getting the negative pregnancy test again and again, I felt like I was starting to lose my identity a little bit. And, I felt like my life was being defined by this fertility process. And I felt like I was getting lost a little bit. So I started to think about, who am I as a person? And I, talked with my husband, and we decided to take a break last month in January, and, just didn't do any of the treatments. And it was really great because I was able to spend that weekend with, skiing, and my husband skied and I snowboarded for the first time, and I rediscovered what I like to do and what my joy is as an individual, regardless of, the wonderful fulfillment that I'm getting from starting Befriended Heart and these great videos that I'm doing for you, and the fact that I'm helping people. I also needed to rediscover what makes life fun for me. So that being said, I thought this was a really great lesson to share with you all. So, the snowboarding reminded me that I really love to do new activities. I also had in December asked my husband to buy me some oil pastels and, some pastel paper that I could do some art on. And that was actually something that I had loved so much in my 20s. When I was in college, and of course we had as many supplies as we could use back then, and I didn't have to pay for it, which was wonderful. But I remembered how much I loved smearing the colors together and all of that. And so I've started bringing that back into my life as just, a 30-minute break or an hour-long break. And it's been wonderful. So here's a picture, okay? I don't know if you can see that. So this is a sunset that my husband and I saw a couple days ago. And no, it's not like the best masterpiece ever, and it's not gonna go into a museum, but I loved expressing myself. I could draw whatever I wanted to do. I could blend the colors. I could use whatever colors I wanted. And it just felt like such a release for me. And, not only a relaxing lack of stress, but also, it got me excited and I was having fun. So I want to talk to you about how that is like getting in touch with your inner child. So let me rewind it back a little bit. So your inner child is basically her. So that's me in, I would say, 4th or 5th grade. And you can tell, I'll hold it up again. You can tell I was an 80s child for sure, because my mom definitely crimped my hair here. I'm pretty sure I have a similar, gold heart necklace now. And this headband is one that my grandmom made me. She used to sew some of my accessories. So that's my inner child, and you all, of course, have an inner child as well. And this inner child knew how to have fun, and while, this child, who is you, was trying to figure out how to be independent and what subjects you liked in school and everything, you still knew what activities you enjoyed doing. And so, as we grew up, we started to hear criticism from other kids, and then it became, or even in ourselves, that we wanted to grow up and, oh, that's babyish, don't do that anymore. And so as a result, we've kind of soaked in this criticism from society as well as ourselves, and have stopped playing, we've stopped having fun, and we sort of start to define having fun as, eating a donut or eating cheesecake, which I love to do until, last week when I had to quit sugar. And so I had to sort of rethink, what brings me joy and comfort that is not in the form of sugar or, calories or going out to a club and drinking, because that in our 20s is something that's like fun. It's defined to us as fun. So, the other thing with the inner child too is that it gives you a break from stressing about, your job or whatever is causing you grief, and just taking a moment for your brain to focus on something else, So I've talked about the importance of being mindful in a couple of different videos in one of my series, so I'll put a link up here. But in being mindful, you're really kind of giving yourself a mental vacation. And that's so important because our brains are constantly, remembering the day, remembering, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that to my colleague. I hope she's not mad at me, all of that stuff. And so it's a way of pausing that ongoing record player, if you will, if you guys know what that is. I'm sure like millennials nowadays probably don't know what that is. But yeah, it's just continuing. And so this is a way to really take a break, but also, really enjoy what you're doing and have fun. So I think regardless of how we grew up, and I had very loving parents, but I know especially for daughters like me and like you, and one of your parents has dementia and your other parent is very overwhelmed in taking care of the person with dementia, we don't really get that, as much approval as we used to as kids, and honestly, I think regardless of how old we are, we still look for that constant approval from our parents. And so what you need to learn to do, and what I'm starting to learn too, is really providing approval for myself. I say like, yeah, that pastel painting is not going to be in a museum, but you know what? I'm proud that I made that. I'm proud that, I picked out the colors and how they look really great compared to the picture and all of that. So, when you hear your inner critic start talking, try to pause that and really, just focus on what you're creating. I think that's really important. And I think also, so there's a lot of different ways you can do this. It's not necessarily art. It really just depends on what you enjoyed as a child. So what I would love for you to do is to take a minute here and, just remember, reminisce, brainstorm what types of activities that you really love to do as a kid. And I know for me, so I can tell you actually just a few weeks ago, so we had a snow day, and we had a whole lot of snow, and my husband was actually off of work, which pretty much never happens. and we went sledding, a hill right near our house. And we brought Scotty, our dog, and we went down the hill a few times with, Scotty in our laps, and the three of us were, on our makeshift sled, and luckily no one got hurt. But honestly, I think the one thing better than, creating fun for yourself and getting that break from life and stress is sharing that fun and being an inner child with the one you love, whether it's, your partner or if it's your kids. I think if you're having a hard time remembering what types of activities that you really liked as a kid and you have children yourself, it's really eye-opening to spend time with your kids and see what you really enjoy doing with them, because that gives you an idea of what you enjoyed as a kid or what you would like to do yourself. And I do recommend that while it's really great to, of course, spend quality time with your kids and your partner, it's also really good to have that me time and do that activity. Once you discover what that is, or once you remember what that is, do that for yourself, because you're really, remembering who you are as a person, independent of, what your role is in your job, regardless of how much you love your job. That's still, a source of stress. So really figuring out and getting in touch with your identity is so important. And the way you can do that is to, again, brainstorm and, remember, really great memories, maybe ones that you've had with your parent with dementia. So for me, I have a memory that I'm actually really sad that I don't have any more of my sticker books, but I am not kidding. I had probably about 4 or 5 sticker books. I love to collect stickers. I remember going over to my good friend's house and we would, exchange stickers. I had fuzzy ones, I had oily ones, and the oily ones were really cool because they had a couple of different colors. So I think I had from the one that I remember is a poodle. And so the sticker was made out of plastic, and the poodle had there was a cerulean blue and an ultraviolet purple, and you could kind of you could actually touch the sticker and move the oil inside. I mean, I don't know if it was real oil. It looked like oil, but who knows? But I was just mesmerized by these oilies, I called them, oil stickers. And I also have a really fond memory. When I was pretty young, I used to go to the grocery store with my dad, and it was something that I really enjoyed doing, and I still have really fond memories of that. But kind of as, a loving thing that he would do is he would buy me a sticker, right when we were leaving the grocery store, and I would always want the one that it was kind of like a hologram and shiny, and it was a picture of a bunny head with a bow, around the neck. So I loved getting those. I remember looking back at my sticker albums, and I had, at least 6 of those types of stickers. And I was so excited when my dad would buy it for me. I think they were 50 cents back then, or 75 cents. And so it's so funny because I look back now, I did look back on the sticker albums. I'm not sure where they are now, but I remember being in high school and looking back on these stickers, and they were the Playboy logo stickers. But of course, me as a, innocent child had no idea what that was associated with. I'm super glad that my dad still bought them for me. Even though I know he knew what they were associated with, but, that brought me joy. And so, a way that I apply the sticker love, if you had sticker love, as a kid, I get super excited about office supplies, and, I have a bunch of different colored pens here. I have purple and blue, and I put those in my planner. I write different events in different colors. To continue my love of stickers, I put, stickers in my planner. When I send people cards, I add stickers to that. So my point is you can really recreate what brought you joy and what was fun for you as a kid, and you can bring that to your adult life. So, not only are you there's also ways to find humor, especially when I was sledding with my husband, we were laughing and having so much fun, and, we made snow angels and we had snowball fights. And here's the thing, like, we're in our mid-30s, but if anyone knows us as a couple, we are really young at heart. We had our wedding cake was a Lego movie theme. I mean, I'm not kidding. We were super kids. But the thing is, we have that joy in our life because we are in touch with our inner children and we play together. And so I think that's so important, and it is something that you can do, even if, like, let's say you can't afford to buy pastels or, watercolor paper or anything like that. Maybe ask for that as a gift next Christmas, next Hanukkah, your birthday, because honestly, it really is an investment in you and your self-care. So I would love to hear what your activity was that you loved to do as a kid and how you are incorporating that into, ideally, your daily life, if not once a week. So if you'd like more awesome content like this, I would love if you could subscribe below. And I look forward to seeing you next week. I am actually going to be interviewing my friend Lindsay Vajpai, and she will be talking about the best way to communicate with your loved one with dementia. So in the past, I have talked about how loving touch is super important, but she's going to cover some extra strategies and techniques through her expertise that I think will be really helpful for you. So I will see you next time. Bye.